Mabuhay or in Kapampangan, luwid kayo. In the last episode of At Home and Abroad, I briefly talked about my experiences visiting my old teacher who is now a public school teacher at a local public school in the Philippines. And I also mentioned how we should really invest a lot more in education and in supporting underprivileged children holistically. So, what do I mean by that? Well, here is a beautiful example. So, on my last trip to the motherland last summer, one of the very first places I visited was the Balebalayan Museum for the Poor and Center for Transformation to the Arts. Balebalayan is a Kapampangan word that means playhouse. The Balebalayan Museum for the Poor is a space for underprivileged, underserved, and marginalized children to engage in the arts and culture. And it was founded by the amazing and selfless artist Peter de Vera. They converted this old house near the city's public market, near the marginalized neighborhoods in my hometown, into this accessible museum and center for the underprivileged children. It is called the Museum for the Poor because they wanted to break this impression that museums are only for the rich and privileged people. They wanted to get away from this idea, especially in the Philippines, that museums and art can only be found in rich and prominent communities. In other words, they wanted to make arts and culture accessible to the masses. They wanted to empower marginalized children through art. And in the few years of their existence, they've already successfully mentored hundreds of young students. And in the process, they've created this space, a refuge for the community where the less fortunate can get the attention and the care that they need to flourish. They have scholarships for young and well-deserving students, bright young students who would otherwise not be encouraged to pursue education. It is also worth noting that Balebalayan is an entirely grassroots endeavor. It is all volunteer-led, and they have volunteers coming from all around the world. So any ounce of generosity from people like us in the community, at home and abroad, is more than welcome and very much appreciated. An ounce of generosity from people like us from a more privileged and fortunate life can go a long way in empowering these young children. Today, if you're watching the news, the Congress of the Philippines is in the process of passing a bill that would lower the age of criminal liability to just 9 years old. Now, regardless of your political affiliations, lowering the criminal age to just 9 years old is very much a problematic policy. A policy that does not address the roots of the problem. What we need is a more holistic approach into helping our children grow and flourish. We need more places like Balebalayan where the less fortunate can engage in the arts and culture, can be empowered through arts and culture instead of just immediately demonizing or treating them like criminals. What we need is a more transformative approach into our criminal justice system. Lowering the criminal age is a band-aid solution that would only perpetuate this cycle of violence, this cycle of poverty that, if you think about it, would only lead to rising criminality. What we need is an environment where children can flourish, a society where they can reach their full potentials, a community where they can be empowered to be the hopes and fulfill the promises of a brighter future for our people. And that is it for me today. If you like this video or new to this channel, don't forget to subscribe. See you next time, or in Tagalog kita kits and in Kapampangan, Mikitix.